the Dhammapada Sutra spoken by the Buddha. Chapter 24, verses 334 to 359. Beginning from verse 334. The craving of one who dwells and acts rashly only increases, like a creeping plant, like an ape searching everywhere in the jungle for edible fruit. He proceeds aimlessly from one existence to the next. Verse 335. If a man overwhelmed by this worthless, most contemptible, grasping craving in this life, his woes only accumulate, like grass plants sprouting in the water, like grass plants sprouting in the wake of a heavy downpour. Verse 336. But when a human brings this worthless, contemptible hankering under control, a longing pretty difficult to subdue, his woes simply fall off like a water drop falling off a lotus plant. Verse 337. My speech I present to you. I wish you all assembled here the best of luck. Extirpate all hankering, as a man uproots an unwanted wild plant with a useful, pleasant-smelling root. You must strive hard and not allow Mara, the evil one, to ruin you repeatedly, like a brook ruining its hollow-stemmed plants. Verse 338. Just like a tree that has been downed will sprout afresh if it has a solid root that is unharmed. If hidden greed lingers and is not extirpated, distress arises. Distress arises and continues, and there is repeated pain. Verse 339. If the 36 brooks of hankering after sweets and delights are very powerful in a person, obviously a multitude of roaming, greedy thoughts ride the beguiled soul on. Verse 340. The brooks of greed and hankering run in every direction, and the creeping plant arises and settles automatically. And thus, when you observe the creeping plant arising, extirpate it. Extirpate it completely with your wisdom. Verse 341. Humans remember and are aroused by delights, and those in bondage to the delightful and in pursuit of pleasure. These are the humans ensnared by being born again and again, growing old. Verse 342. Humans perturbed by craving flee back and forth like a trapped hare. Like a trapped hare. And beings ensnared in the shackles of clinging, longing and lingering, come right back to pain and distress, and linger long and long, again and again. Verse 343. Humans perturbed by craving flee back and forth like a trapped hare. Like a trapped hare. So, a man should discard his greed and hankering if he truly seeks liberation, freedom from craving. Verse 344. If one already out of the jungle of craving is lured right into the jungle again, so that he is liberated and free from the jungle, but then he races headlong into it again. Behold, here he is liberated, free, but he is racing headlong right into bondage again. Verses 345 and 346. The sages declare that a shackle made from iron, wood, or thread-like strands is not necessarily a tough shackle, but the infatuated lust after tiny pieces of jewelry, offspring, and women, the sages declare that that is the tough shackle. It grips a man, and he is downed and overpowered. But it appears pretty loose, though. Yet it is difficult, very difficult to snap. Humans abandon the vast material universe once they succeed in snapping this shackle. They are liberated from hankering and dismiss the flesh and its deceptive pleasures. Verse 347. Humans aflame with craving move along the brook of their craving, just like a spider moving along the network of his self-created strands. Destroying the ties of bondage, men of wisdom proceed liberated from hankering and abandoning all distress, which only gradually fades away. Which only gradually fades away. Verse 348. Abandon the past, abandon the future, and abandon that which is amid them, the present. Going beyond elements of time, having liberated your soul in every way, you shall not fall back to being born again and again, growing old. Verses 349, 350, 351. If a person gets incited by his personal reasoning, is captivated by greed and reflecting on pleasures and delightful materials, he only becomes more and more greedy. He makes the shackles and bondage tougher and tougher. However, he who delights in stilling the mind and reflecting on what is unpleasant and bitter, ever mindful, he will terminate greed and hankering. He will break the fetters of Mara, the evil one. With his goal achieved, he is fearless, without greed, without blemish, impeccable. He has extirpated the piercing shafts of renewing existence and suffering. This is his flesh and the ultimate. Verse 352, having discarded greed, without grasping, a consultant in textual research and grasping the right order of utterances and statements, a man may truly be referred to as, in his ultimate body or appearance, mighty in understanding and